What's up?
Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Tommy Gilmore with Noisy Bird Digital Marketing, and you are watching another episode of Spotlight Southern Utah. If this is your first time here, I talk to a different business owner every week about how they got started in business, how the business got started, and sort of their story. I'm excited because I'm talking to Paul today, who doesn't own the business, but you oversee the operations.
Yes. So I'm the manager of Royal Wholesale Electric.
So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about Royal Wholesale Electric, the story about you guys, and I think we want to talk about this Marlin too, because I made sure we framed it, so we'll hear a little bit about him too. But Paul, thanks for letting me come by today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Paul, tell people a little bit about Royal Wholesale Electric, how long you guys have been in business, and how you got involved in the operations.
Yeah, so Royal Wholesale Electric, we are a part of a national company that sells electrical supplies to contractors. Our parent brand is Consolidated Electrical Distributors, based out of Irving, Texas. CED itself has been around since 1957, so it's been around for a really long time.
That's awesome. So you have some good infrastructure you can kind of rely on with the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Cedar City location has been around since 1998.
Okay.
So we've been here almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And then we just focus mainly on selling electrical supplies to contractors.
Very nice.
So we'll sell electric supply.
Yeah. And so I'm sure, especially the last couple of years, you guys have been keeping busy with the growth and things like that.
Yes, things have been very busy the past few years.
That's
Thankfully.
awesome.
It's been a blessing for all of us.
For sure. Yeah. And how long have you been involved? Have you been in it since 1998, or
So
I'm sure you came along later?
Yeah. That's yeah, definitely. I was 9 years old in 1998.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I started with Royal Wholesale Electric in 2017. They have a management training program.
Okay.
So it's a special program that CED has come up with to train their managers. It's a 2-year program, and basically you go back and forth between Irving and the Cedar City location and do a bunch of hands-on training and then in-person training with people who've been doing it for 30 years, 20 years. And it's just their way of making sure that they keep the company culture and create businesses that, make money and are profitable and can stick around.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, that goes into that, hey, I didn't start the business, but I get to help run it, and I get this really nice infrastructure and support on the back end. And
Exactly.
that's why you get into the franchise model as opposed to, hey, I'm just going to go and figure it out like us dummies that start a business and are like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah, it's a huge blessing to have. So I still have a boss, right, who tells me what to do. He's in Salt Lake, but he's more of like a mentor than really a boss.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of relies on you to be boots on the ground, and then he's just there to support and answer questions and give guidance, it sounds like.
Exactly. And so that's what makes the Royal Wholesale model different than most other electrical distributors. They get to let me run it like it's my own business, even though it's not. So I get to make all the decisions on what we stock, who I'm going to try and sell to, just what my goals and targets are for the year.
Yeah.
I get to hire everyone. I have to look at the P&L. I have to make sure we're making money. So it really is like running your own business with the support of a large company behind you.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So, I mean, with that support and some of the oversight, it sounds like you've got kind of best of both worlds right now. Obviously, that's not always the case and things like that, but you get to run the operations. Like, what have you guys had to face? I mean, obviously with good growth the last few years, I'm sure comes challenges to overcome. And even before that, going back to 2017, what are some things that you either had to overcome or had to learn and kind of grow into with this management position?
Yeah, so one thing that I've learned just being as a manager, but also selling electrical supplies is people think that, oh, there's not that much. There's so much to learn every day with electrical supplies. So I'm always learning that. And then I'm just learning how to be a better leader and manager. The biggest challenge that I ever faced was probably just the year of 2022.
Okay.
So everyone, had problems with COVID, and that created an issue for just so many different people globally. And a lot of electrical products come from all over the world. They are not all made in America. Um, so a lot of them come from China or India or other, Cambodia, other countries. And so to start off 2022, I had two people leave just in January. There was only three of us left in the store. And so we were just hustling for about a month, just trying to stay afloat. We had one person who was part-time and two people that were full-time.
Wow.
And so we did about the jobs of 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked some long weeks, long days at the beginning of that year. And then all the suppliers stopped sending material because they ran out.
Yeah. So supply chain issues on
the
top
supply
of
chain
being close staffed.
So all of the sudden things that we used to order and get in, 2 to 3 weeks, were taking 60 weeks, 70 weeks.
Wow.
And you're trying to mitigate that as much as possible while getting calls every day from contractors asking, why is it like this anymore?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to order this, 20 weeks in advance? Why don't you just have it here in 2 weeks? So that was probably one of the biggest challenges, was just that entire year. Daily, weekly phone calls with suppliers, manufacturers, and contractors trying to figure out why projects couldn't be done on time.
Yeah.
Complete buildings would be done without any electrical equipment on the outside for them to get power from the power company.
Wow.
So you would just have a building with nothing that you can do because there's no electrical.
Man, and it's nothing that you can control because you're relying on this international supply chain and probably scrambling, trying to find solutions in the meantime.
Oh yeah, we got really good at finding solutions for contractors.
Yeah.
We learned how to engineer things and find things.
Yeah.
We were really good at that.
Yeah. How, what did you learn from that time and how has that benefited you moving forward? Because, in business and life, it's universal. We're going to face challenges, right? But it's how we face them and what we learn from it. And then how do we take that and help us make it ourselves or our business better, right? Like that's sort of what it's about. So, now looking back, it's been almost 3 years since then.
Yeah.
What have you learned from that time? What has been your takeaway and how has that impacted how you guys move forward?
So it's been really helpful. We've become a lot more of a solutions center as well than just supplying electrical equipment. We have a lot more contractors who come with us or come to us now looking for solutions to their problems. And it's been really beneficial for us and the contractors. The more you help people, the more they're willing to come back to you. You get more repeat business and more just loyal customers.
Yeah.
And you can help them.
Yeah, that's something. I was at a business conference actually this last weekend, and I was talking with some other people, and we said it in different terms, but basically we said the more that you can just solve problems for your clients, the stickier you become, right? Like it's harder to go away from you guys if instead of, hey, I need a light, I'm going to go to you guys, or sometimes I go to Amazon, or sometimes I go to Home Depot, or but if you are really that, hey, we go and we solve problems with Paul and his team, more often they're going to be coming to you guys and helping solve those problems. So I think that, ultimately that's just good business, right? How do we solve more problems for more people?
Yeah, it's common sense customer service is what it is.
Yeah. But sometimes as business owners, we're so like in the mode that we don't think about it, right? I'm sure you wish you'd thought about it in 2019 as opposed to 2022.
Yeah, I wish I had those skills sooner. It would have helped jumpstart our growth even before things really took off in the past 5 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, to speak to the growth, Cedar City's growing a ton. St. George is growing a ton. I'm sure you get business in both areas, primarily Cedar because that's where the office is. But I'm sure, contractors all over Southern Utah are keeping you busy with all the growth.
Yeah.
Like, how have you adapted with growth and things like that?
I guess to answer that question on how we've adapted to our growth, one thing that we've done is we've gotten a lot more sales focused. Before we used to be a lot more warehousing and just kind of waiting for contractors to come because we know we have a presence and people know who we are. But we've gotten a lot more where we reach out to contractors and we're getting a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
Because there's so much going on, we want to take as much as we can get.
Yeah.
And so instead of waiting for it, we're starting to get a lot more proactive.
Yeah.
That's one way that we've adapted.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. When business is going well, sometimes we just get in this groove, like we talked about, of all right, like we're just going to put our nose down, we're going to grind. But as a good operations person, as a good manager or owner or whatever, like you have to take that 30,000-foot view and say, hey, there's an opportunity here. Maybe we're not targeting St. George as much as we could. It's only 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
Let's reach out to some contractors there, or hey, let's meet the new contractors and get in their good graces as they're new.
Yeah.
Doing things like that, building that sales team takes time, takes a lot of effort, but it's seizing that opportunity when it's there instead of just, all right, we're doing things the way we've always been doing them.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to find salespeople who want to work within our culture.
Yeah.
We have a service-oriented culture first, and we hold a pretty high standard to that, along with integrity. And so finding the salespeople that I think fit our niche is probably one of the hardest things that I have to deal with every day, because I'm not looking for your typical used car salesman.
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody who shows up every day and calls people and will take no 100 times and be happy when they get a yes. And, even if they're not the most outgoing people, but someone who's reliable for the contractors to be able to get a hold of, but also to answer their questions straightforwardly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we want to be the best people for our contractors to deal with. And that's one of the things that I actually like about my job. Some people are afraid of contractors. Construction people themselves have, a persona of, tough and vulgar and other things.
Yeah.
But they're really just good, down to earth people, and they want to know the truth.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be the smoothest talking salesman to get along with contractors. And actually, most of them would be turned off by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely found that too. We serve a lot of contractors as well. And like you said, ultimately, at the end of the day, they're very much, does this make sense? And I like it because a lot of times they're more willing to invest in their own business because if they see the value in it, like they're very committed to their business because a lot of times it is their business.
Yeah.
And so, it's that opportunity. But like you said, you have to talk to them straightforward, down to earth, and just be honest and say, like for us, we don't give guarantees in marketing because I think with marketing, it's hard.
No.
We're relying on an algorithm we don't control, and we're relying on a market of people whose responses we can't control.
Yep.
And so I'll say, look, we're going to use our expertise. We're going to do everything we know how to do. I can't give you a guarantee it's going to work, but I can guarantee we're going to do our best.
Mhm.
We're going to do the things that we know have worked in the past. And I can guarantee you, like, my team's going to work for you. And that's the guarantee I can give you. And a lot of times people appreciate that more than, hey, I'll give you 10 leads, or I'll pay you back, or what, like, and because they've been burned so many times by, like you said, those slick talking people like that.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly right. Yeah, that's what the contractors want.
Yeah.
They just want to know the truth.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that's pretty universal. We're getting to that place where we've circled around. People are done with scummy salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
They just want people that they can build a relationship, they can go to as a solution, and then, ultimately that they can trust. They know that they're honest people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to kind of wrap things up, Paul, I appreciate your time. Thanks for sitting down with me today. I wanted to ask you, since 2017, you've been on this manager track. You've gone through different courses. I'm sure you've read different books, podcasts, all that stuff. Like,
Lots of them.
what's been the best piece of business advice or business counsel that you've gotten from these different sources, and how have you kind of put them into practice?
Yeah, probably the best advice that I've ever received is it's more of like a question that I ask myself. And the question is, how do I add value, or how can I add value to someone else's life,
Yeah.
or in any interaction? And so I use that when I'm working with people. How can I add value for them? Just for an example, let me just think. So last week, pretty simple, easy example. Contractor comes in with the problem. He's a contractor I see and work with almost every day.
Okay.
And they had just got this new tool. I didn't sell them the tool,
Mm-hmm.
but I happened to have batteries. I have extra batteries, or just extra things that I get from tool reps.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I cannot get this thing to work. Oh, our batteries are all dead. And I was like, I happen to have 3 of those batteries sitting back here for you. I'll just give them to you.
Yeah.
They're like, really? You can just give these to us? I'm like, yeah. It's like, here, you can have them. They were given to me, cost me nothing.
Yeah.
It's about $400 worth of batteries.
Yeah.
For tools for this contractor. And it's just me giving them something of value to help in that moment.
Yeah.
Because most of the batteries come at least a little bit charged, and it was just enough to do what they needed that day.
That's awesome.
So I was like, here you go. You can have these. Like, yeah, no questions asked.
Yeah.
You're good to go. No need to pay. All I need is a thank you, and we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ultimately at the end of the day, like, we are every business is a service-based business, right?
Mhm.
Like, whether it's a product or service or whatever, like, we have a need that we're servicing for people. And so I like you said, just being in that position, how do we find more ways to do that for more people?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that just makes good business sense.
Yeah, I just want to help. Give value even if I'm not getting anything for it.
Yeah.
Because that's just a good thing to do as a human as well.
Mhm.
Not even just service or business. It's just a good thing to do.
Yeah. Probably helps you sleep at night.
Yeah, it does.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Paul, thanks for making the time to let me come by and see you. Guys, if you're watching, if you are a contractor in the construction world here in Southern Utah, check out royalwholesaleelectric.com, right?
It's royalcedarcity.portalced.com.
Okay.
It's a long one.
I'll put it in the description there so you guys can check out a little bit more about some of what they do. Paul, thanks for making the time.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week, where we'll be here with a different business owner. But until then, we'll see you later.